Y'all know what it is, it's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pie. Cash App, $, usual 50-50. Tickets on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshit on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBDC meeting in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Y'all know what it is, it's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash App, $, usual 50-50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20, with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LBDC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LBDC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
best grooming colors for you, just so natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah, so get in style with the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. The black, gentleman, black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo, what's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman for this Sunday, July 13th, 2025. This is number 172 in the series of call-ins as we talk about the great sport of boxing. We just had another weekend of outstanding cards, starting on Friday night, where we had the women on deck, where it was Katie Taylor taking on Amanda Serrano for the third time in a trilogy of bouts between them, broadcast on Netflix. And then yesterday we had the DAZN pay-per-view event, which was headed up by Edgar Berlanga taking on Hamza Shiraz, with Shakur Stevenson taking on William Zepeda as a co-main. And we got our boxing fix on this weekend, so we could talk about it this morning. Forgive my starting a little bit late. I had a little bit of service being done here at my home, and I thought it was going to run a little later, but they got in and out, and I'm thankful of that. I appreciate anybody that decided to stick around for Stormybman and listen to the call-in show. So we're here for that. I want to send a special shout out to recent subscribers, and I think I owe a little bit of credibility and debt to my brother Champside. Yeah, Champside. I was on his panel of call-ins earlier in the week, and we had some conversation. I was able to, for the first time, be able to share the platform with the young brother and have some great boxing talk. And there was a boost to Stormybman's channel, where we now have finally officially gone over the 6,000 mark, which we should be much farther ahead than that. But, you know, we take what we can get, because we understand that the true supporters, those who are really down for you and get it out the mud, they are here regardless. And that's what it's all about. And I want to say thanks to each and every one of you who have been a part of that to make it possible for us to reach that benchmark. So yes, we can keep moving and forging ahead. You know, we got a couple of additional channels now for Stormybman. We have this one, which is my main channel of talking boxing. And we've talked a little bit more than boxing on this channel, but the other channels will allow us the luxury of expressing other interests, such as the Kung Fu Temple of Entertainment channel. That right there is blowing up by the day, and I appreciate the Kung Fu aficionados out there who are signing up for that experience. And then we have the Culture and Entertainment channel, where a lot of the content that I've done here, whether it's been the what we call it, the Beats with Sugar, Nerds on Culture, Dine and Dish, and various other topics that I've had that's not boxing related, will be on that channel. So as you see, Stormy B Man is spreading the wealth, getting it all out there in the proper avenues. If you're subscribed to one channel, that's fine. If you want to subscribe to all three, that's really strong support. But just know that I'm out here trying to compartmentalize the content so that it be hitting the appropriate audiences, because sometimes I may get on and get to talking about something on this channel that some people will say, well, man, I wanted to hear some boxing talk. Well, you'll be having that. The other channels will be specific toward what they are about. So we are now in that position to do that and get it going. So just know that I'm working hard, doing my best, trying to put myself in a position to get to that meet and greet, because Stormy B Man wants to be a part of that, and you guys can help make it happen, Yeah! So it's onward and upward here with what we're doing out here. Let's take a moment and acknowledge who we got in the chat out there. Got a couple people out there, a handful. We'll see who we got working with us this morning. Universal Truth is out in the building early, saying salute sensei. Tay-Tay, the real queen of MMA and combat talk. What's going on with you, Tay-Tay? Good to see you out there with the flames and the crowns. Yeah. And Jimmy Bernard is back with us, saying good morning, sensei. Salute to the chat. Smash that like button. Yes, sir. Mr. Shelton is out there. He says he got his shoes off. He says, yo, fixing breakfast and listening in. Put them feet, wrap them feet up in the kitchen, Mr. Shelton. Don't nobody want no toe jam popping off in they corned beef hash this morning. You feel me? Yeah! Boxing and Barbecue is back. My brother, what's happening with you? Says morning, Stormy. Kamara, the stepping razor, gorilla of the matriarchs, in the building, saying salute. What's happening? Eric Jordan is out there saying, Stormy B Man, salute sensei. What's good with you? And he's also saluting Boxing and Barbecue and the family. Yeah. So, how did you guys enjoy the Zone's pay-per-view event last night? It was okay, I did a post-fight show on there and expressed my thoughts about the matches and matchups and everything. But there were a few surprises, I know it was a surprise to see Eric Morel, getting put down on his arse. Yeah, that was really a surprise. Some people didn't see that coming, but I have watched and looked up on that kid, Komatav, and he done popped dirty already, but if you look at him, he do look like somebody who might enjoy some juice, Yeah, and they still letting him fight, so there you go. They letting you know who they care for and who they don't, Yeah, you can come out there and have your S on your chest and your tight wrestler's underwear on with capes, and they'll let you soar to the highest heights. That's why you gotta be ready, committed, dedicated, and know that when you get in there with somebody, you don't play with your food. You put their foot so deep in their behind that your kneecaps, got brown stains on them. Yeah! Yeah. That's what's up. Who else we got? Freedom's March in the building. What's happening with you? That brother there, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to Freedom's March, this young man, he's got a little bit of a background there where he could talk about specific things, and I'm loving that, man. I'm loving that. Freedom's March, feel free, brother, please, to put your link for your channel in the chat. Do that for us so we can send some do-gooders your way, And I'm sorry, but even when you put the link in there, it'll be some do-badders, But I'll leave that up to you, because I know you got them military grade Timbs with steel toes, and you know exactly where to place them. Yeah! And that's how we do that. That's right, man. Make they breath smell like heels from boots. Yeah. That's how you do that. See, some people, they just don't have appreciation, man. They don't. And you can never make them have an appreciation. You know, you really can't. The only thing you could do is point in the direction where the water is, but you can't lead them to drink it, huh? Because most of them want to soil it anyway. Yeah. Growing with Soul in the building. What's happening with you, man? Peace to you as well. Good to see you out there. So, did you guys enjoy the fights last night? Did you enjoy the fights Friday night? Yeah. So, hey, you know, we come up out of there with some good stuff. Let me see here. I'm trying to get ready to crack open the call lines. Let's see here. There we go. We got our graphics up on the screen there in the appropriate way. You know, I know some of them, they just want to see the old peanut head Stormy B-Man up here. But you know what? I'm still at this ripe old age capable of knocking somebody out. Don't think that it's, you know, it's for play, because it ain't. It's for real. You know what I mean? And if I can't get you with my hands, I'm gonna get you with whatever is close by, huh? Bricks, rocks, glass, bats, steel pipes. Yeah, you know, I like putting lumps on their heads. Yeah, send them to the ER. Send the ERs to the ER. Yeah. So what you guys think of Katie and Amanda, huh? They came out, didn't nobody want to hurt nobody. It was love fest all over again with these two, huh? And it's probably best for Amanda, because Amanda, I think you guys, at 50 fights, I think she should pack it in. I don't think that she should continue, because, you know, I'm seeing some things that lets me know that she's at the end. And Katie is at the end because of her age, huh? And you would think that Katie would be showing some kind of symptoms of CTE or something with all the headbutts that she's gotten away with in her career. But I guess when you're launching, huh, it's easier to deal with the impact than receiving, huh? Yeah. You see, Stormy has to still say what it is. You know what I mean? She's a great fighter, but she's an even greater head butter, huh? How about that? Woo! That's right. PGH Big Dog, what's good with you? He says, was Taylor running? Tom and Jerry? Listen, Taylor didn't have to run because Amanda couldn't catch or chase, huh? And was throwing punches at invisible Katie Taylors out there in the ring. You please explain that one to me, because I don't know what I was looking at, but I'm going to tell you something. One of the brothers mentioned that I think it was Trick Nolte, he said they're going to make a remake of Boys in the Hood with Berlanga playing, what's his name? I forget the guy's name in the movie. And then they, instead of playing Trey, they're going to have Amanda Serrano, they're gonna woke up the role of Trey and have her swinging at the air like Trey was doing in Boys in the Hood when he come through the door in the house and he was that was Katie out there. I mean Amanda. That was Amanda out there, and the first time she hit Katie was probably the only time. Yeah, man. But anyway, here we are, you guys. Let's talk some boxing, man. Let's talk about it. Because we had that card, of course. And then, of course, we also had the Ring 3, huh? You can ring my bell, as Regina Bell sang years ago, many years ago. Listen, so it was a good opportunity for some of these guys to showcase their talents. It was a good opportunity for some guys to assert themselves. And then there were a couple of questionable situations. And listen, I ain't hating on nobody. But there's a couple of fights that I looked at on this card here, Ring 3. The Puello and Matias fight in particular. And then David Morrell against Kataev. They gave Morrell the decision in that fight, a 10-rounder where he was dropped and was behind on a lot of the rounds. But they gave him the decision. He didn't win that fight, you guys. And definitely I think that the Alberto Puello and Subriel Matias fight, what in the rackety was that? Huh? Because I'm telling you that though Matias did a good thing in cutting the ring off in some instances and marching forward, he was very ineffective in a lot of that. Not all of it. I'm not trying to say all of it. But Puello wasn't given his credit for boxing, as he's known to do. The man can box. That's why a lot of people don't want to face him in the division. So the WBC decided that they would just snatch the damn title from him and give it to Subriel, because Subriel is one-dimensional, huh? And this young man that's going to get a chance to fight him, what's his name, Sam Smith or whatever, from the UK, is more than likely going to take the belt from him. And Smith can punch too. So there's a good chance that they'll hold that somewhere where it'll be more of neutral ground for Smith, and then he gonna go upside, Matias's head. Because if you looked at Matias after the fight last night, he was all beat up around the face, and I didn't see the referee throw one punch last night, huh? So must have been Puello, huh? Must have been Puello. Salute to my brother Drew Titan LLC in the building. What's happening with you, man? We got Red 41 ATX out there. What's going on with you? And who else we got? I thought I saw someone else come in there. EJ20 in the building saying, I thought Puello won comfortably, Stormy B, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm tired of the poor officiating, man. I'm tired of the poor judging. And though Turkey is coming in there and making certain fights happen with his dollar and influence, there's some stuff going on, man, that Turkey could influence with his dollar. And he could start off by firing those people over there at Ring Magazine. Get rid of them guys that's still a part of the mold that was behind the wall, And mold is bad for you, It could lead to respiratory problems and illnesses and make you sick. Yeah, that's what's happening over there at Ring, So you need to get rid of some of them guys, and then start petitioning for better judging for boxing matches. Even if you take former fighters and let them judge the fights, you can take each card should have a judge who was a boxer, a puncher, and a guy who was a great fighter. You can have a mixture of judges. That way, someone's going to have to select what they like. Someone's going to have to select what it is. And someone's going to have to select what they don't like. You know what I mean? So mix it up and mix them up. You know, there's plenty of former fighters out there. And while you're at it, how about supplanting some of these so-called color analysts, and get some real guys in there. I would love to see Kevin Kelly come back and be able to do commentary on some boxing out there. I would love to see Lennox Lewis be back making commentary on boxing. You know, stop getting these guys that really are inarticulate, but at the same time don't know what the hell they're talking about, Yeah, how about doing that? So, we got a lot of people coming in the building. Smash the like button as you come in. Don't mind if you color up the chat a little bit too, because that's what's up. But the line is open. Anybody want to call in and talk about these cards from the weekend? Shakur Stevenson. I kind of ripped on him last night on my post-fight show, but it's not really directed at him. It's directed at what has transpired. Because though he got the decision last night, I don't think the fight was that much of a runaway in his favor. In fact, I think that Tevin Farmer did a stronger job against William Zepeda when he fought him the first time. And he was denied the decision. And I'm like, okay, if Farmer didn't win, then to me, Shakur didn't win. See? So you're telling me you're going to favor one boxer and not respect another. Overall, you're telling me you don't respect the boxer, period. Because someone like Zepeda should have a couple of losses on his record, He is not that good. He's very one-dimensional. And he can't make any adjustments. He's going to go the same way round after round. Either you stop him or it goes the distance, and that'll be what it is. And we shouldn't have to watch fighters who we enjoy displaying their skill sets be on the bad end of that, be on the critical end of that. If you notice, in the week leading up to this fight, there was talk about the ring, the size of it and everything. When you looked at that ring last night, the ring was so big that heavyweights would have been comfortable in there moving around. So it was all much to do about nothing. But Turkey still needs to get rid of them guys over there at Ring Magazine. Clean the house out. You done took over. A lot of times when there's a CEO takeover, they bring in their own folks, And somebody's in Turkey ear telling him, yeah, we good right there, we good. They lying to you, Turkey. They lying. Tell the damn truth. Boxing really stinks with these low-keyed, agenda-driven guys, and they're very disrespectful. And they're biased, prejudiced, and racist at the same time. Clean house, Turkey. Get rid of them. Yeah. Freedom Mars says Shakur versus Zepeda definitely was a lot closer than people are making it out to be. Shakur got a bad habit of getting hit in the pocket and missing. And why these boxers be having their chin in the air? I'm going to tell you why they had their chin in the air. They had their chin in the air because on both sides, those who do it and those who can't do nothing about it. It's a double entendre there, Freedom's March, that they're not being made to pay. Unless your name is Edgar Berlanga. You see what I did there? Yeah! How about that, Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you something. Berlanga, and I said this last night, the boy was out there, he done spent all that money on jewelry and everything. But I don't think he got insurance on that glass jaw, huh? And his jaw ain't glass. It's just that it shattered like glass once Hamza, huh, laid hands on his ass, huh? You see, he did all the laying of hands on Hamza throughout the promotion before the fight. At press conferences, pushing him, pointing the gun finger at him and all of that, huh? Then at the other face-offs and everything, he was putting his finger all in his face and everything, you know, shove him a little bit. Then at the weigh-in, even more. He put hands on him so much in the promotion leading up to the fight. I just knew it wasn't going to go well for him, because I'm going to tell you something. He was like sexually assaulting Hamza, huh, with all of that handling, huh, touching on him and everything. But Hamza was regal. He was an upright man, a gentleman, just like Lennox Lewis used to be when he fought, huh? He waited for fight night, and then he put hands on Berlanga's ass in the proper way, huh? Where was Berlanga, huh? On the canvas by round 4, huh? Twice. And if the bell hadn't rang, huh, it would have been, what's that soundbite that Drew plays? Good night. Yeah! Huh? Got him on up out of there in the 5th. Got him out of there. But he didn't even put his finger in his face or nothing. He just put fist to chin, and he was in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm going to tell you something. When you continue to berate somebody and everything, listen, you better be able to step up and take care of the other end of it, or it's going to look real bad for you. Huh? It's going to look bad for you. But Shiraz proved something, was that maybe he was a little bit better than people might have thought. But I personally believe that he should have stayed at middleweight, because there are some super middleweights that can hand him his dinner. Now, a good fight would be him and Pacheco. I would love that fight. Let's see, we got the first call up here. Okay, we got the brother Drew Titan in the building. What's happening, man? How you feel? What's going on?
It's great, brother. It's great. You know, I'm on my way out to the gym, but, you know, I had to call in and show love real quick, man.
Yes, sir.
It suits everybody in the chat. Listen, man, we talk every day about things like this. And first of all, wonderful weekend of boxing, I must say. Wonderful weekend of boxing. I really must say that. I really enjoyed myself. Salute to my brother Town Biz. Give me that credential. Y'all go subscribe to Town Biz. The interviews I conducted over there, that's his material, but you'll hear my voice. Don't get confused. You know, I had a talk with Tunde and Anthony Yard and Antonio Tarver and, of course, Bill and the Normans. Wonderful weekend. But let me tell you something. Friday, I was in Times Square. And Shiraz and the rest of that, what I call the British gangsters, they walked right past me. And it's New York, y'all. If you blink, you'll miss somebody. But the stars are out. And I walked like right past them, but it was like kind of late for me to say something, because I'd have stopped. He's a friendly dude. I'd have stopped him. And I looked. First thing I noticed was he's legit 6'4".
Yeah.
He's legit 6'4". He's a legit 6'4". And I looked, and I heard the accent, and I looked, and I said, "Oh shit, that's Shiraz right there." And I looked, and I'm telling you, Stormy, when I looked at him, he was like walking past. I said, "He's gonna beat Berlanga, man. He's gonna beat him." He made weight. I missed the weigh-in. He made weight. I think he made 167. But Stormy, last night, that brother was all of 180, 185, man. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. Now, Berlanga against Canelo, he rehydrated up to like 193. That was the word. If he did the same thing last night, I'm telling you guys, he rehydrated damn near. He was a cruiserweight last night. you gotta respect it. He wasn't intimidated at all of that gun gesture and stuff. Yo, can I say something, man?
Yeah.
Now look, man, I gotta tell y'all something, man. I live in New York, born in Harlem, raised in the Bronx. You gotta be from New York to understand what I'm saying. And I don't say it too much on my channel because, you know, people get in their feelings, but it's true. You gotta be from the 5 boroughs to understand what I'm about to say. I'm not firing shots. I just live here and I notice certain things. That's a Brooklyn thing, y'all. All those gun gestures and stuff. And, you know, he plays it up for the camera, you know, and, you know, Fat Joe, he out here from the Bronx, you know, Terror Squad, but, you know, he's Boricua, so there's like a connection there. That's a Brooklyn thing. You know, they run in packs, they're loudmouths, they appear to be bullies, but I gotta tell y'all something. I'm not saying that they can't fight, but they're bullies. And usually when you punch your bully in the face, what happens? They fold. Okay? Mike Tyson, what happens when he got punched in the face and somebody put him on the back foot? Didn't he lose? You understand? And I'm not firing shots. I'm just letting y'all know that there's a pattern here.
Right.
You know, and I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying, you know, Zab Judah, same thing. You put him on the back foot. I mean, look what happens. You know, Shannon Briggs, you put him on the back foot, look what happens. And now you got Belanga. You put him on the back foot, he didn't know what to do. Shiraz came in there with, look, you know how we use the term, this guy's all wrong for this guy? Somebody in Belanga's matchmaking crew scouted this all wrong, bro. He was not supposed to take this fight. And I'm going to tell you, man, if I was in that group and Shiraz's name came up, I'd have told them no. Now, I never gave a prediction for this fight. Because I just didn't want to. But I didn't know Shiraz was going to do it the way he did. I thought he'd outbox him, get him in a little bit of trouble. Here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to outbox him, right? And then in the championship rounds, he'd be so far down on the cards, he'd have to take risks. Belanga would have to take risks, and he'd run into something. And I foreseen him getting dropped and clapping his gloves together like Manny Pacquiao getting up. But I didn't think he was going to get stopped like that. Shiraz is all wrong for that division, Stormy. 168 is on notice. This guy is rangy. He's a legit 6'4". He has a powerful jab. And now we know he got popped. And he can fight on the inside. That was beautiful. I didn't like him there. I said, why is he in there? Go up with him. Don't get out of there. And he was serving him. I said, oh, shit. This was not the Tower Inferno. Being on the inside because he got bad eyesight. No. This was not that. He knows what he's doing. Now, a lot of people, you're only as good as your last win. You know, a lot of people will remember in his previous fight. But he said something in the post-fight. I don't know if y'all saw it. But he said, man, you know, the last fight, it was a weight thing. In other words, he was draining down to 160. And he didn't feel himself. You know what? I believe that. His first stint at 68, and this is what happens? He destroyed him. And Belanga wasn't beat up by Canelo to the point where we can say, okay, he'll never be the same again. No, he just coasted through the fight, and, you know, he's fine. His fight right here, now I want to see how he looks in his next fight. Belanga, I want to see how he looks. Because this was an ass whooping. And I'm also looking to see who's going to say, oh, he's done, he should retire. You know, that sort of rhetoric that they do to certain kind of fighters of melanated complexion. You know, I think that right now Canelo saw that and said, you know what? F that, man. I'm not going to do it if I don't have to. Because Belanga's all wrong for a lot of people at 68. And I'm going to tell you something else. I also stood next to David Benavidez Friday. They got him listed at 6 feet, 6'1". No, he's not. I can see the top of his head. That kid, unless the floor was uneven, that kid is like 5'11". I'm a legit 6'2". He's like 5'11". And this kid, Shiraz, it's all wrong for him. Yes. He's all wrong for him. And this kid, dare I say, and y'all could disagree. You know, y'all could say, hey, man, it's only one fight in this Berlanga. Nah. I saw enough last night in those 4 rounds or whatever. This kid is the package for that weight class. I'm thinking about who's around that weight class. Who's around it. Listen to what I'm saying. Think about who's around that weight class. He's all wrong. The brother in the chat said he liked to see him versus Christian and Billy. He's all wrong for him, Billy. This kid is a problem, man. This kid is a problem, and he needs to be really careful. They need to. Right now, there's no light one. He came in 168 by storm, and I'm looking at the landscape at 68. I don't know who can get him. I know how he could be gotten, but I don't know who has the proper tools to get him. What do you think about that, Sensei?
There's a Cuban guy that's at 168, and he's the reason that David Morrell went on up to 175. And I can't think of his name right now, but he's fought on a couple of cards that we've seen recently. This Cuban guy, I think he'll clean Hamza up because he got everything that Morrell had, plus aggression, plus it's like he's all business in there. I just can't think of his name right now. There may be somebody in the chat that can draw this gentleman's name up, but yeah. But there are other fighters too. Diego Pacheco is a good fight for him.
They mentioned him.
Yeah.
They mentioned him.
Shane Mosley Jr. is at that weight class. Give him a shot. Shane Mosley Jr. got fast hands, man. He's got very fast hands. And he's had a couple of fights where he has some real confidence boosting fights and whatnot, and now they've kind of put him on ice again. And I don't like when they do that to the black fighters, and it's such a consistent thing. Yeah. It's ridiculous. You know, the night that he fought on the same card as I think he and Munguia fought on the same card one night. It might have been when Munguia fought Deverenchenko, or it could have been before that or something, but Mosley Jr. Was fighting and had a great performance, and I was like, man, they should match those two next, Jaime and Shane Jr., and nothing was ever heard of it. And I was like, well, what the hell? And then you got other guys out there that are kind of like mid, who are like Beck the Bully, huh? And guys like that. It's like it's time to step up and see what they could do, you know. Beck the Bully was out there. That guy he fought in his last fight, he got a decision, I think, but that fight was really close. So I mean I've been watching, you know, and right. I just think that Hamza is kind of right there in the mix of guys. I'm not going to put him too high. What I like about him that is very familiar to me is his regalness. He reminds me a lot of Lennox. Like that. He's very calm and very calculating and smooth like that. And guys like that are dangerous because they are detail oriented. They study their opponents. And you could tell that he already had Edgar figured out. And I spoke about this earlier in the show, where all through the build up to this fight, Edgar was all in his face, touching him and all of this and that, and the man was just like, okay. But when he got a chance, there we go, Universal Truth. Osleys Iglesias, that Cuban fighter right there. Remember that name, Drew? Yeah. Remember that name, because that guy right there, he'll clean a lot of these guys' clocks at super middleweight, man. Very good fighter, you see. And he's the one that, because the talk not amongst us, because a lot of us don't know this guy. But the talk amongst boxing circles was like, would David fight him? Because they're both Cuban and everything. And as Osleys began to step up, Morrell jumped up. Now, some people might have thought he was following Benavidez. I don't believe that. I believe he was leaving because of this guy. Yeah, that's my belief. You know, I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but I'm just saying, especially after I saw him fight a couple of times, I'm like, oh yeah, he'll give David Morrell problems. Like you noticed last night, Morrell was boxing where he had some issues in there, but Komatev didn't have the experience to follow up and follow through. Osleys wouldn't let him get away with any of that. He would have had him out of there. He would have had him out.
Right.
And he would have had Komatev out of there too. Because he ain't going to play with his food like Morrell does. Morrell's out there doing the moonwalk and the shaky dakey and all of that shit. And we've seen, when years ago, when that boy on Tuesday Night Fights come out there dancing and shaking and doing the boogaloo and all of that, and he got knocked out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like the funny thing is when you've seen this stuff, it's like I know what's in store there. You know, it's like there you go.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys at 168 now, and it's very nice because by Morrell and Benavidez moving up, it's kind of loosened things up. So if you just pay attention, that landscape looks really good. And I'm going to tell you something about Christian Mbili. He's a tough, hard-nosed fighter or whatever. But after seeing him in a couple of interviews after his last fight, I don't like him. Because his assessment of the boxing landscape and how he sees fights and fighters and stuff, he's looking at them the total wrong way. And I'm like, wow, if you doing that with your assessment of the landscape of the sport, then you got to be applying that to your own personal career. Unless you're just saying something a certain kind of way to get people to kind of, roll with you or whatever. And if you're doing it that reason, that's an even better reason not to like you. So that's what I had to say. You heard me say it here first today. About Christian Mbili. And how many times have I been wrong when I've been talking about these guys and their character, Drew? You could tell the audience.
Can't think of it.
Dude.
Can't think of one time.
When I make, because
one time you've been wrong.
What he said about Bud Crawford facing Canelo, it's out there. It's on the YouTube. He did a couple of interviews after his most recent fight or leading up to his recent fight, and certain things that he said, and I was like, ooh, where you draw that presumption? I'm like, okay, all right, I'm backing off. You know what I'm saying? So have at it with Christian Mbili. And he's going to be limited anyway because he's not a one-dimensional guy. I would call him more of a two-dimensional guy, but his two dimensions aren't strong enough to deal with guys like Hamza Shiraz. It's not.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
It's not.
Shiraz shows that he has a lot of game to him.
See, because a guy that has the mentality of this, I'll take one to land mine, you might end up taking the wrong one. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be lights out. See, what's his name? I'm trying to think. What was that guy's name? He lost to Bitter Beef. Joe Smith. He went out there. He figured, I figure I'm gonna get hit, but I'm a roll the dice. I'm gonna go after him. It was the worst thing he could have did. He just got his beating faster than he thought he would. You know what I'm saying?
That was insane, bro. That was insane. But man, I got to roll. But I just wanted to call and show some love, man. And we had a wonderful night of boxing, man. It was wonderful, and pretty much got the outcome that I figured. I wasn't rooting for either one more than the other.
Yeah.
But, I was looking at it and I said, I think this is how it's going to play out. It just played out worse for Belanga than I thought it would. and a lot earlier.
Before you go, quick thoughts on
Yeah.
Shakur and Zepeda. Your thoughts on that?
I want to say great job by Shakur, but I'm pissed off because I hope y'all understand, and salute to Coach Hudson, because he was live this morning and said everything that was on my mind. Shakur ain't got to do that every game, man.
Yeah.
Now you did it, and I don't know if y'all saw the post fight, but the brother sitting there with shades on. When you ever seen Shakur sitting there with shades on? That right there is the problem. Shakur, you did what you had to do to show these people, yo, you can't do it, you got dog in. He said it after the fight, I got dog. Okay, fine, I believe you. Don't you ever lay on those ropes like that again. Because these, oh boy, I don't want to curse. These MFers don't appreciate you until someone's going upside your head. And he showed that there was, the skill set between him and Zepeda are light years apart. But what he did because of what quote-unquote popular demand wanted him to do was stand in the pocket where he didn't need to be there. Shakur was completely comfortable, but he put himself in a position where he was uncomfortable doing something he's not used to doing. Look, Shakur, you did it. Now we see you can do it. You got a great shoulder roll, but all of his punches had steam on it. He's a sharper puncher, and Zepeda was a typical flat-footed Mexican fighter that throws a billion punches, and out of those billion punches, 500 million don't mean anything. The body work was there, but let me be very, very clear in what I'm saying. Shakur is a phenomenal boxer. I mean, put aside how he gets on my nerves with his rhetoric, I could differentiate the two. At one point, Sergey KK Kovalev was the best light heavyweight in the world. I hated to say it, but it was the truth. What Shakur doesn't need to do is put himself in a position where someone could get him. Well, he don't need that. He doesn't need that. Don't ever do that again, young man. Don't, because it's not appreciated. When you get knocked on the floor and you have to get up off the floor to win, they're still not. Then they're going to start calling you Chinny. Then they're going to start calling you Chinny. Do you know when I was watching the post fight on the Golden Boy YouTube channel yesterday? I'm reading the comment section. People were saying Berlanga got a Devin Haney chin. Well, that's interesting. Berlanga got stopped. Devin got to 12. You see what I'm saying? These fighters are being judged by people that don't know anything. So why are you trying to please them? For what? They're not in there. Turkey can say whatever you want to say. You're going to get paid and you're going to win. You don't like what Shakur or Pure Boxer's doing, then it's the opponent's job to do something about it.
Absolutely.
And like I said, Shakur needs to play it up. I'll do a commercial for him. Hi, I'm Shakur Stevenson. A lot of people think that I'm a runner. And then Usain Bolt walks in there and shakes his hand. Hey, Usain, how you doing? Then he's putting on some Nike run shoes. Yeah, you know, they say I'm a runner, but I'm a boxer. And then the road runner comes in there. Meet, hey, how you doing? Yeah, but you know, I'm just trying to get this trainer on. Now he goes to the track, and all the best runners in the world are on the track running with Shakur. And his campaign should be, come run with me. Live it up, play into it, own it. You don't like it? Get on your Wile E. Coyote and try and catch me. But what do we know about Wile E. Coyote? Did he ever catch the road runner? No. Every goddamn episode, he's falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
Shakur don't play up to these people because it's never respected. Muhammad Ali was never respected. Floyd Mayweather, it was never respected. Right now, they want Floyd Mayweather to jump in the ring with Roy, not because of they don't like what Floyd Mayweather said about Ali. They don't care about Ali. You know what they don't? You know what they want? They want to see Floyd lose. Now, I don't care about Floyd, but I'm saying the reasons why people want to see Floyd versus Roy is different from what these racists are thinking. They just want to see Floyd lose. And I wish these brothers would tell these people, by way of their actions, to shut the F up. I'm doing me over here. Get out of here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And that's all I got, Stormy.
and also to add to what you were saying was this thing with Shakur beating Zepeda last night. as I also said earlier in this show and on my post fight, I'm like, what I got a problem with is they gave credit to Shakur for defeating Zepeda in a fight that I thought was a lot closer than how they judged it. But in a performance that was better than Shakur's, Tevin Farmer lost the decision in their first fight.
Tevin Farmer's performance was more valiant.
And he put him on the canvas.
He sure did. And he didn't get the nod.
He didn't get the nod. So what, and I asked this question last night on my post fight. I said, what the fuck is going on? What's going on? Because I'm telling you, you could watch those two fights back to back. And I know there are people who love Shakur. That's fine. You can like who you like. I've never said don't like who you like in boxing. I said love the sport. I'm still pining for the fact that they robbed Tevin Farmer, who in the event after going through that, dropped 4 fights in a row. See, just because he didn't get the damn decision. Do you know what that does to someone? If Shakur didn't get the decision last night, you'd probably be trying to talk him off of the damn Brooklyn Bridge today.
That's right. That's right.
Tell me I'm lying.
No, you're not lying. I'm telling you right now, man, if he came back and they said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision, Shakur would have been nervous, bro. Split decision? Man, Shakur, don't ever do that shit again. Now you learn. And I hope he's paying attention. He needs to be reading social media and seeing what they're saying about him. There's going to be one hand full of people like us saying, don't ever do that crap again. And then there's going to be those others talking about, yeah, I want to see Shakur fight like that. Listen to what's being said. I want to see him do that, more of that. No. In other words, they want to see you get punched in the face, kid. Don't. If they can't touch you, be pretty. Isn't that what Ali said? I'm pretty. That's what you do. Be pretty, man. Get out of here.
And Tevin fought, like I said, a much game fight in his first fight against Zepeda. And they didn't even, it was almost like they didn't even consider him. And I'm like, it's the same thing. You got a southpaw boxer who is experienced in everything, put Zepeda on his ass, and he don't get the nod. Then you got a fighter in Shakur who didn't do like Farmer did. He laid on the ropes a lot, took a lot of shots, whether they were landing cleanly or not. You still getting hit somewhere. You understand? And your rally back is only in increments of moments. 1, 2, 3, 3-punch combination here or there, missing quite a few of power punches because he would load up and try to throw these right hooks because he's southpaw. These right hooks, they were missing all night long. He didn't do no body work. Tevin put in a mixture of everything. And I'm not even trying to, for those out there who like to twist narratives and shit like that, I'm not trying to say that Tevin is better than Shakur. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is for the fighter he is, on the night that he fought, he should have been given his victory. And that's happening too much in the sport of boxing. So if you look at it like that and understand that, remember, they made him end up, they get a rematch out of it, right? And then he's injured in the rematch, but he's still fighting. And it's still a close fight in the rematch. And let's not forget the Ray Morataya fight before the fight with Zepeda, where that fight was close. And because Morataya, you know what they did? They put him right in position to get a title after that with Farmer. And so it's like then you put Farmer in again against a young lion like Kid Austin, and he gets stopped in the first round. And it's like, that's going to make people look at Farmer like, man, he ain't nothing. He should stop fighting. He should, because he already got a few losses on his record from early in his career where he had to learn. He learned on the job, basically, like Bernard Hopkins did. You know what I'm saying? And he became a better fighter. So it's like, I don't like when I see that, because I'm looking at a guy who could really box and has ability and everything. And in moments when he should have had his just due, they pissed in his face. And this is what they do to you in this sport. If you don't have the favor and grace of certain people. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Because I'm like, what I said last night was this. If Shakur won that fight like that, why? Why? Now, some people will look at that and say, well, Stormy wanted him to lose. This is a pater. No.
Nope.
I'm asking you to look at boxing. They have not been rewarding the boxers, the black boxers, consistently. Right. But last night they did. Why?
We don't hear you. Mr. Stormy, I'm Ron.
Yes, sir.
Day started. And see you in the strong house tonight, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. Take it easy, man. Later.
All right, now.
All right, that's the brother Drew Titan. First call of the day. Lines are now open again. Anybody else wants to call in? But yeah, this is what it is, man. Talking about this sport of boxing. And since Drew mentioned Muhammad Ali, I got something I want to play with Ali. I want to play this clip on Ali.
I tell you what, I bet you the Viet Cong, who we black people, not me, I wasn't fool enough to go, who those who help fight, I bet you the Viet Cong is more citizens and can come here and put on a little suit and get more freedom to move in neighborhoods and put up business where Negroes can't.
I believe that.
No, that's not right.
I believe that. I believe that.
They're under a dictatorship just like the Russians.
The Japanese can, the Germans can, everybody that's not American can go and do what Negroes can do. So quit being hypocrites on this TV.
Well, where can't you go, Muhammad? And
Oh, okay, I'm one big
do?
nigga. I'm a nigga, got $10 million, I'm a great fighter, so I can go.
Well,
What's the answer, Congressman?
the answer is that, you know, it's easy to sit back and call everybody else in the world a hypocrite. I'm not going to call anybody a hypocrite. I think everybody has a right to their own
Any
opinion.
white person in this audience, when I tell the truth of my people, ain't nothing but a hypocrite. You take your face and your complexion to the White House and repay the black people for all the work they done done, all the slaving.
Get down, brother.
Yeah. You see? And y'all want to equate Floyd Mayweather to that? Really? You better wake up and apologize. Really. You see, when someone like Ali represents like that, that's beyond boxing. It's a reason to get behind and support. But we don't have anyone of today that's willing to put that on display. No one. But they all want to be measured and equated to that level. There's really no level. There's just a plane of existence that happens to be where everybody else is down here and he happens to be up there when it comes to that type of thing. Anyway, let's have some more conversation on the fights for this weekend. Again, the Taylor versus Serrano. Some of y'all got a chance to see your favorites on there. Alicia Baumgartner showed up again, huh? But she showed us that she could take a punch because she did not move her head off center line. And she seemed to be more distracted with her sports top, if something was gonna pop out or not. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Yeah. Kondo, he says, my profile pic is Ali carrying me when I was little. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. The greatest. So let's talk about it, guys. The line is open. I will patiently await to see if we can get someone to come in. We need a Nobody wants to call in. Okay, we got 267. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stormy B-Man. It's B-Mac.
B-Mac, what's happening with you, brother? How you feel?
Oh, man, I just been busy, man. I'm so busy now. I ain't got long to talk, but wasn't nobody calling in. I said, let me call in after Drew.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I missed the fight last night, F+ again. You know, I got tied up with the missus, thinking, you know, I'm going to get lucky, and ain't nothing happened, man. Missed the fight for nothing. I said, man, I could have been watching the fight.
Oh man. That's messed up.
I was pissed. I was so pissed. I said, well, let me call Stormy tomorrow morning and I'll talk about F+. F+. I went to the gym today. It's a young African guy in there. He's 20 years old. He reminds me of James Toney, the way he looked. He don't fight nothing like him, but he only been boxing for 8 months.
Yeah.
A lot of power. We trying to bring him along.
Okay.
But he's lazy.
You say he's lazy, huh?
Lazy. Well, he quits a lot. You know, when he gets tired, he's lazy. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he quits. You know, he got that good living going on. I'm like, nah, come on, man. But how the fights go, I see Shakur. You know, some people say what you say, and some people say he won.
Well, I feel like the fight was a lot closer. It didn't have to be, you know, me saying I think he lost and this and that. But I did, as in I mentioned in the phone call previously with Drew, I said that if you're going to be consistent in the sport, great. But, dude, Tevin Farmer looked very good against Zepeda in the first fight that he fought him. And they did not give him half the credit that was given to Shakur. And we've seen other fighters who perform like what Shakur performed, and they don't give them the decision. So what I was trying to say, out of inconsistency, why? Why are you guys making these types of decisions? Because either the black fighter is winning or he's not. But you can't give it to this one and not the other one, and give it to that one and not the other one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not
politics.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I could see it, and ain't nobody else talking about it but me. I'm like, and I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I'm the only one that got to point that out. You know? Because like I said, people will take the narrative and be like, well, he's against Shakur. No, I want Shakur to fight all of his top contemporaries where he can make the most bang for his buck and give the most entertaining opportunities with opponents for audiences. That's what I'm saying. But it's like, and I also said early in the show, we need to get rid of these judges and bad boxing scribes like whom Turkey didn't get rid of when he took over Ring Magazine.
Yeah, well, they listening to other people on the YouTube, they say Turkey is bowing down to the people he bought off of Ring Magazine. He's sounding like them. You know, talking about running boxing, you know, runners, there's people that's movers like boxing, like Terrence Crawford. You know, he's saying with the people he bought it off of. And boxing is nothing just like our judiciary system. It's all done by discretionary. So when you have that type of system, you get this type of politics. This person can do it, that one can't. It's all discretionary.
And I'll tell you that this whole thing that trying to lump Crawford in with being a so-called runner, Crawford has never displayed being a runner. Never.
I thought he got hit too much. I thought he should have moved a little bit more. He'll mix it up with you.
Yeah, and for them to say things like that, it just shows the disrespect for the black fighter. Yeah. That's all that is. Yeah. It's disrespect.
Because they don't say that to Lomachenko, and he was a master at making you miss.
Oh, they tried to call him the Matrix. They tried to call him the Matrix, didn't they?
He was a beautiful, beautiful footwork, beautiful movement. We don't ridicule him, say he's a runner. I just say, wow. Look at. I just tell people all the time, if you think Floyd Mayweather, Crawford, and the rest of these guys are running, just come down to the ring. You ain't got to throw no punches and do what they do in the ring. And I bet you'll fall or you can't do it.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Just move around in the ring. Don't even throw no punches. Just move around. Nobody got to throw nothing at you. And you won't be able to do it. It's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
I don't like this thing, but it's like I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle because I speak on, you know, what I feel like should be spoken on. It's like, you know, stop ignoring these issues.
Hey, boxing always been that way. I just never paid attention to politics when I was young because I didn't know what the hell I was looking at and listening to and why stuff was done that way. As I got older and now, you know, you can think for yourself, and now you guys on YouTube, you can see it straight in your face.
Yeah. We didn't have so many turncoats. In the past, we didn't.
On topic, we were talking about Ike Benabuche in the gym, right? Do you think he would have beat Holyfield?
Well, Ike would have not. Holyfield would have fought him undoubtedly.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yes. That would have been an excellent
But
fight.
Holyfield would not have been the fight for him. Lennox Lewis was the fight for him because Lennox was the one who had become, he was unified champion and then on his way to being undisputed. And I believe that his style would have been very troublesome for Lennox because he was like a bigger Holyfield. You know.
Was he bigger than Holyfield? I didn't think he was. I think he was bigger than Tyson.
No, Ike was bigger than Holyfield too, brother.
Oh, he was.
Ike was like 240 pounds and 6'3", 6'4". Yeah.
I always thought he was 6'2".
Oh man, he was like a bigger man. He was big, and see, Holyfield fought big. You know what I mean? It's like
Holyfield's a big dude too. I seen him in Vegas, man. His neck, shoulders. I was next to him, and I'm 6'2"3/4", and he's a big 6'3". He's not a small 6'3". He looks bigger than what he is, because he looks like he's 6'5", but he's not. Holyfield do fight big, and he looks big though. His upper body, his shoulders. I'm looking at his shoulders, his neck, his hands. Man, he's a big 6'3".
Yeah.
And I was right next to him. I mean, I was looking at every inch of him. I ain't gonna keep, pause as they say, but he's not a small man. He's not a small man at all. And he still was in shape, and he was retired too. So this was a couple years ago, but still not a dude that you want to walk up to and do what you want with. He's still a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, his neck is thick. He was still in shape. He didn't have a gut. Still looked skin nice, everything. He can jump in the ring and do 10 rounds with no problem.
Yeah, he's always kept himself, in pretty decent, togetherness. But as a fighter, Holyfield was my favorite fighter. But as a fighter, what I realized about him is when he stopped putting in the road work, that's when he started having issues. Holyfield, he fell out of love with his road work. He liked to lift the weights, he liked to spar, he liked to do those physical things, but he didn't like the road work so much anymore after he got to a certain age. He made a difference in his performances.
Was that before or after Mike Tyson?
That was before Mike Tyson.
Oh, so he beat Mike Tyson without doing the road work. Okay. But you didn't you said the fight was Lennox and Ike, but I wanted to see what would you think between Holyfield and Ike? What would have happened? I think Holyfield would have pulled it out.
Yeah.
It would have been a nasty fight though. It would have been nasty.
And that fight that Ike had with David Tua, that was amazing too.
Yeah. Chris Bird, David Tua. Yeah, he just had a short career because he got locked up for rape, right?
I don't know why he got locked up, but I just know that he was taken away from the sport. And I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes when that stuff like that happens, man, it happens for a reason. And
they say he was a wild dude.
No, but I'm just saying, even if it was no conspiracy behind whatever happened with him, people like that being removed from the mix, it kind of leaves it open for other things to happen. Do you realize that just the guys we've mentioned, all of them have had a chance to become heavyweight champion at one point or another? Outside of Holyfield and Lewis, think of all the guys who became heavyweight champion. Tony Tucker, Bruce Seldon, Tommy Morrison, Ray Mercer.
I always like Ray Mercer.
David Tua. Tua didn't become heavyweight champion, but Hasim Rahman did.
No, I don't have anything. You been chilling? Yeah, bro. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Ray Mercer, Hasim Rockman,
Hasim Rockman. Well, what are you champion on?
Michael Moore,
Yeah.
Francois Botha. Who else? There's someone else I'm missing. But by me mentioning all these guys' names, that was during the Holyfield, Lennox Lewis era. Oliver McCall. These guys all at one point. Frank Bruno became heavyweight champion of the world, and that was during the three belt era. Three belts.
Tough fighters. Tough fighters.
So when you look at it and you just question, like, my goodness. But the one thing I liked about Holyfield and Lennox, and I said this about the two of them, they were the two heavyweights of the 90s.
Yeah.
Because Bo threw his belt in the garbage and didn't want to fight Lennox when they had a contractual agreement to fight. But between the two of them, Lennox and Evander, they fought all of the mean and worthwhile fighters in the heavyweight division. Lennox fought guys like Ray Mercer, Tommy Morrison, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Franz Botha, Oliver McCall, Frank Bruno, who else? There's somebody else I'm forgetting. David Tua, and
Chris Bird.
Lennox didn't fight Chris Bird.
Oh, he didn't fight. Okay, all right. All right. Yeah, Hakeem Rockman, and
Hakeem
Michael
Rockman.
Grant.
Michael Grant. Now that's 10 guys. 10 guys. On the flip side, Evander fought Riddick Bowe, George Foreman,
twice.
Michael Moore.
Twice. Michael Moore twice.
Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis,
twice.
Ray Mercer.
Yeah, that was a brutal match.
Hasim Rockman.
What's the guy from Philly that used to do the shell and roll and all the dips that Holyfield fought against? He gave Holyfield a tough fight. I forgot his name.
James Toney.
From Philly.
No, from Philly.
Not James. Yeah, the heavyweight. James, he didn't come up. He was already heavyweight. What was his name? I forgot his name. He had a Muslim name, I think. He gave Holyfield hell, then Holyfield wore him out. On that movement, Holyfield caught up to it.
But Alex Stewart, he had basically Burt Cooper. Basically I ran off 10 names for Holyfield and 10 names for Lennox. And between the two of them, they fought everybody in the division. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so that's why those two men are so, like, you have to put them at a certain level of appreciation. You could talk about other people, but at the same time, not on their level, because those men did some awesome things.
They were the 90s.
And the guys today aren't coming close to that. They're not coming close. Nope.
It hurts too much. The training, the regiment, the discipline. One of the guys that trained me, he was Lennox Lewis' sparring partner. And he was a fighter too. And he asked Lennox, because Lennox was training like hell, he said him and Lennox would run 5 miles up this hill and walk down. And he would spar 10 rounds, 10 different guys each round. Some days, they get the better of Lennox. And Lennox would still keep going. And he said he asked Lennox, you got all of this money, all these millions, why do you keep training like this and doing this? And Lennox answered him and said, I don't know. And one of the trainers said, don't ask him that. Now you got him thinking about it.
Right. Yeah.
Link said, I don't know. And then he retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it hurts, man, trading. Shoot, it hurts. I love it, though, but it hurts. I hate it when I'm doing it, but I love it. That's why I do it. Hot gym, you gotta be in a hot gym. I mean, some gyms are dirtier than others. I mean, it's a doghouse. People don't want that. Some people want it, some people don't. You gotta be special.
Right.
They see Floyd with all the glitz and glamour. They don't know that Floyd is really a dog. And he was around the dogs. And he just put on a front like it's easy.
Right.
And it's not. No, that's where he fooled you at. No.
Yeah, I agree with that. Floyd did some things that put himself in a place where you just, you understand and admire to be able to still be in a good place where your ranking in the world is, where your bank account happens to be, and your desire to still be in the thick of things. It takes a special person and a certain type of mentality to get to that place. So he's to be respected for that when he was fighting.
Yeah.
Bernard Hopkins was that way too. Bernard was that way too. But you wonder, what the hell happened to these guys when their fighting careers ended, because they became something that socially it's like, not the most uplifting person,
Well, they show who they are. They can't think like Ali when it comes to politics and personality. So they fold. There's no in between when you're around different folks. You either with it or you're not. And they fold.
Yeah.
Because I used to be in the classroom, and that's what happens to me. You either going to do it or you're not. There's no in between. So those guys, they turn in the clown show where they say nothing. I'm not trying to say you got to stand up like Ali because he was a certain kind of person and you don't have his charisma, but you don't got to go out your way to be, shucking and jiving. They didn't ask you that. You doing it on your own.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and they don't respect you when you do it. I don't know what they think they like them. They laugh, but they don't respect you. They told Ali all the time, I respect him. Every person that may disagree with him, they respect him. And when he had his funeral in Kentucky, I know one of the FOIs that attended, they didn't put this in the media anywhere. They said it was so many delegates from around the world that came there to support Ali. All of these big prime ministers and presidents from around different countries around the world sent big delegates and people to represent them to show they love and respect to Ali. And they didn't even put that in the media. None at all. He said it was bigger than ever. He said it was the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen in the world. Yeah. But I don't want to hold you. I got to cut this grass now. It's getting hot out here.
Yeah, I understand. But hey, thank you, brother B-Mac, for calling in.
I'm going to call you. I want to call you and Drew when y'all talk about the comics. I'm a big comic book guy, too. Y'all probably bigger than me, but I be wanting to chime in on certain things.
Well, yeah, you have to do that, man. We we do the Nerds thing on Monday evenings, so definitely tune in.
I'm a big Hawk fan. I mean, I was big on Hawk, man. That was my guy. And for him to go out like that, I tell everybody, I don't mind Hawk losing a fight. He loses. But he always get up and come back.
Yeah, see, what they did was they kind of crapped on his source material with the way they handled him, and it's like, Hulk didn't become Smart Hulk and just became that for the rest of his life. Smart Hulk was only a small space. Mr. Fix-It and all of that, those were just little takes to find a way.
When those comics came out of Small Hulk, I started reading them. I read like one thing and I can't remember because I was
a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
Oh, I mean, he had the doctor coat on, the white lab coat, and the glasses, and thinking. I was like, what is? I started reading it. I started reading. I started collecting. I stopped everything.
Yeah.
And the Green Hawk was bad enough. I mean, that was good to a point. I still wanted the Green Hawk. And I had the comic book where the Green Hawk came about, and he had Banner inside of him. Banner was trapped inside the Green Hawk. And then he eventually got out of there. But I forgot the story now because it's lost in my comic books and it got destroyed. So.
Yup.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, what we'll do is the next time we're talking comic book source material, we'll put a number up there where you could call in, or even put a link in where you could join in, because those are subjects that, you know, we have a lot of fun with those, you know.
Yeah.
And we realize a lot of people are, you know, there to support, you know. That's just like tomorrow's show is called, and we came up with this during last week's show. Tomorrow's show is called The Unforgiven. DC cancels Black Adam versus Superman, and also Green Lantern versus Sinestro for the stuff that we're seeing today. And you know, that's
it was going in the right direction, and they messed it up.
Yeah, they messed it up.
They messed it up. And the thing they did with Hawk too, with Thanos, in the comic book. Now I didn't read a lot of Hawk and Thanos in comic book. I did read some. Thanos never confronted Hawk. He always got out of there. He was trying to get Hawk headed. So when he sees Hawk coming, he disappears.
Yeah.
He never fought him on hand-to-hand combat. No. He was intimidated.
Well, see, this is the thing about Thanos and the Hulk. Thanos has had, you know, the Mad Titan. He's strong naturally and everything. He's highly intelligent and all of that.
Yes, very powerful God.
And with the Infinity Gauntlet, he was basically God-like, you know. But I don't say he's a god. I say he's God-like, because Thanos is kind of like Thor in a sense that, you know, he's a god with a little g, as Kurt Russell said in the Guardians film. But the thing about Hulk is the closest human to being almost God-like, you know, because his anger,
it's stronger.
It knows no bounds. It's like to the height of his anger, wherever it goes, that's where that strength goes. And it's like, if you're smart, like a Reed Richards or a Tony Stark or even a Thanos or someone like that, you don't want to really play with that. You don't want to play with that at all. Which is interesting why they had Stark teasing him in the first Avengers film. Remember, they were on the ship and they were on the helicarrier, and you know, he and Cap and Banner were talking, and he walked behind Stark, walked behind Banner and stuck him with a pin. You know, he's like, oh, and he was like looking at him like, are you gonna change? And then Cap said to Stark, he was like, would you knock it off? Is everything a joke to you? He said, funny things are. And it's like, you know, but Stark was kind of like trippy in that. But I don't like how they played with it so much. It was a great line and fun scene in the movie, but Stark wouldn't really be trying to entice Banner to change into the Hulk.
See, little subtle stuff like that I miss, and you catch it. That's why I like listening to you.
Yeah, but you know what's funny, man? It's like I do catch stuff like that, and sometimes I'll be like, man, nobody else saw this. But you know,
I missed it. I never knew, and I watched that 1,000 times. I ain't gonna have me go back and try to look at that scene.
Yeah,
I never knew he poked him in the butt with a pen.
He stuck him. He had a pen. You know, like, because they were using that, you know, that thing that they wipe the screens with and stuff. But Stark had a pen that did it, right? And they were talking, and he walked behind Banner and stuck him with it. And Banner
I knew he was sarcastic with him, but he always sarcastic.
Yeah, and Banner went, and then, Banner went, and then Steve was like, would you knock it off? Is everything a joke to you? And Stark was like, funny things are. And then they were talking, and he offered Banner a blueberry because he was eating blueberries. It was just a funny thing because when he stuck him, he looked at him like, "Are you gonna change?" You know, it's like.
Now which Avengers was that? Was that in,
the first one, the very first movie. The first movie.
Oh, okay.
When they were on the helicarrier. This was before they all got into a big argument. You remember? Because they did end up getting into a big argument there.
Yeah. Now, did you read the comic book when the Avengers and X-Men got into it?
No, I did not read the story of Avengers versus X-Men.
They should make a movie out of that. Because it wasn't like it was a good plot. Because it wasn't like an all-out war, I hate you and this and that. No. Captain America and Cyclops came together because Captain America noticed something going on in the universe with something coming in the atmosphere. And it was the Phoenix coming back. And Jean Grey is dead. So it went to find a new host on Earth. And it was one of the X-Men, Hope, the little girl Hope. And it was coming, and Captain America knew it was coming for her, and he tried to, take her from the X-Men, and Cyclops and him started fighting, and went on for that. And Wolverine left the X-Men because of that. He left, and that Force came back and jumped into Cyclops, Colossus, and a couple other X-Men. And they became super duper powerful with the Phoenix power. And Captain America summoned all the Super Avengers, the Red Hulk, Green Hulk, everybody to come fight against this.
I think that's what they're going to take elements of that and put it in this Doomsday.
Namor, they got him first, though, because he was tearing everything up. Man, they had everybody. I wish you could read. I was trying to say, I want to give them a comic book. I'm missing one series, though. It's about 12 different comic book series of it. But it was good. And they had a what if matchup between them. That didn't mean nothing. It wasn't no plot. It was just, a fight, a what if fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they should make a movie out of that. Or a TV series. And, man, I don't think they should make movies, no more comic book movies like that. I mean, I think they should have a series. It's too much stories and too many characters to put in one movie. So you need a TV series.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to get ready to wrap my show up, man.
Okay, I'll talk to you. We got on topic.
Yeah. But thanks for calling, bro, and we'll catch up. And save some of that talk for the nerd show, because that's definitely where we can explore those subjects more in detail.
Okay.
Yeah.
But try to get that the comic book. I don't know if they thought out. They made it in 2012.
Yeah, I'll try to look it up. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Peace. Thanks, man. Peace. All right, that was the man B Mac calling in. You wanted to talk some nerd stuff. I have to save that for that show. But yeah, gonna get ready to wrap things up because I need to take me a little rest, man. I'm feeling a little drowsy, but hey, no more calls. Some people sit out there and look, peeping through the blinds in the bushes. Whew. Let's see what we got here. Time to hear from the brother, the focus ball. Yeah.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the focus ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a focus ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a focus ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a focus ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a focus ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Hey, Thomas, you trying to call, man? I didn't know you was trying to call. Try again, Thomas. Try again. Yeah, go ahead and try again, bro. Okay, we got 347 in the building. Is that Thomas calling?
How you doing?
How you doing? What's going on with you, man? I didn't know you was trying to call, because you know what? I had these moments where, you know, when I finish a call and I say lines are open and I'll be waiting and waiting and people don't call. Yeah. So I was like going to shut it down. But yeah, I'm more than willing.
And it just, it cut me off for a minute. And the other guy, the guy before me beat me like in the last second.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just want to talk about the fight yesterday. I was there. I was entertained. I thought it was a good show. The venue was actually pretty nice. I was shocked to see. I really got nothing bad to say about the venue. I was going in expecting the worst, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But the venue was really nice. It was set up really nice. Every seat was a good seat. You know, I always buy pretty much a good seat, but I sat back. I was with T. Colon and his family for a little bit. You know, and a couple other fighters that I was there. And then I moved up. I was with Steve Held and Mac. We hung out and we were there. But pretty entertaining. Only bad thing I can't say, the phone service was not working good in there. Like, it was in the middle of kind of nowhere. But, you know, the fights I thought was entertaining. I want to talk a little bit about Puello and Matias, because that was a close fight. I root for Matias. I like Matias. But I didn't think he won.
I don't think he won either, man. And it's so amazing that the inconsistency in the sport. See, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier when Drew Titan was on and when I talked about it in my post-fight last night. I've watched really good boxers get jobbed out of decisions for judges making a miscalculation. Just because a guy is going forward doesn't mean he's winning. And there's a such thing in the sport of boxing called effective aggressiveness, because you not only need to be a person that's asserting oneself, but you also need to know that through those assertions you are putting the other person at a disadvantage. You see, and that's the way to properly articulate it. And if you ask me, Puello was never in a disadvantaged place last night. If anything, there were moments when, you know, he got worn down, but his second win kicked in because he's a professional, he's a champion, and he, you know, was able to weather what Matias was doing. And see, Matias had no answers outside of simply that. It wasn't like he was dedicating going to the body. It wasn't like he was walking in behind a jab. It wasn't like he was breaking Puello down, whereas Puello was breaking him down, showing a more variety of punches, showing not only movement, but there were moments where he was pushing Subriel Matias off of him and then lighten him up with a couple of shots. It's like it was very subtle because the referee was warning him against doing it. But that's sometimes what you have to do. You have to clear your real estate so that you can impose what you're trying to do. And I thought that Puello showed that. I thought he showed it and picked it back up at the end of the fight. He closed strongly, you know. But your thoughts, Thomas?
I totally agree with you. You know, and you know, this is why I ask people. You know, some people had it. You know, they were kind of right down the middle to who won. I'm gonna tell you like my reaction. So I was with Steven L. We was watching the fight, and you know, I'm rooting for Matias. And you know, when the first 6 rounds were over, we both had Puello up. We pretty much scored the same way. We had Puello up 4 rounds to 2.
Right.
And then that 7th round, Matias got he started to get a little bit dirty. And I was calling that. I was calling this to be about to watch. He's going to get a little bit dirty. He was lowering the head a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws a low blow. I think he went low like once. He didn't really go low. I was expecting him to do it because he looked frustrated to me from my vantage, from what I could see. And, you know, he came and won the 7th round. But then after that, I didn't really think he did much. Maybe the 8th or 9th. I think he put 8 rounds in that fight.
Right.
I thought he was more effective in his punches. I thought Matias made the fight because he was pushing it and made it. That was an argument from, I guess, the Puerto Rican fans over there. You know, that were rooting for Matias. You know, that if Matias doesn't do this, there's no fighting. I was like, yeah, but, you know, you got to learn how to do other things. Like, he didn't really make any adjustments in the fight. And he really did look frustrated. And not for anything, the body language of Matias didn't show that he won the fight. It looked like he felt like he was defeated as well. You know, so it was shocked. And I walked away, me and Steve walked away after the fight because we wanted to race the line and get something. And we would hear the scores. And when we heard the scores and we heard ANU, we would just look at each other like, wow.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. So that's how much, I mean, I want to watch it again on TV because sometimes on TV you might see things a little bit different than you are in person, you know, because of the angles. The one thing I want to critique that we talk about it, I don't like this new thing that they put in the corners. It looks nice, where they put like the whole banner in the corner of each of the 4 corners. It really obstructs the view. I don't like that at all. Like they're doing too much. And they did that in the Garden too the other night too. They had it. It looks nice. They have the time countdown and everything. You know, on the corner, but it blocks the view of the fight.
Right. There's a lot of information that's not read as a result. And that's why the ring posts have always been kind of smaller and thinner, because when guys are working in those corners, you're able to see the action. They need you right. They're doing too much with that. Interesting that I had it 8-4 as well. We might have had a couple of different rounds, but I had it 8-4 for Puello. And I believe you said the 7th round was the last time that you saw Subriel do something. You might want to go back and rethink after you watch it, because it was the 8th round that was the last round that it was the last round that I gave to Matias, and he did nothing after that. And I had Puello sweeping the last 4 rounds. Because the 8th round.
The last 2 was a no-brainer. No-brainer. I don't know how anybody would have gave Matias any of the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, and see the whole thing about what Matias was doing in those last 4 rounds. He was trying to stay on top of Puello, right? But that physical assertion with punching and everything wasn't like it was early in the fight. He was getting close, and Puello was tagging him with shots coming on the inside, to the degree that I felt like, man, if he takes a half step back and starts throwing his shots straight, meaning Puello, like straight shots, he can knock him out, because the guy is like what the old time trainers call sleepwalking, when they're really fatigued, but they're trying to be aggressive and stay on top of a guy, and they're basically walking forward. It's a great way to get knocked down if a guy is throwing straight shots. And Puello was throwing hooking shots, and uppercuts, like 45s and uppercuts to the belly and to the chest and stuff on the inside. But if I would work in his corner, I would be trying to encourage him to get a little bit of distance and separation between you. And when he takes those steps towards you, fire that 1-2 to the belly, to the head, to the chest. You're going to catch him because he's coming right in and his guard ain't up like it was in the first part of the fight. In the first part of the fight, Matias was walking in with his hands up. You remember that. In the later portion of the fight, he was walking in and his hands was down by his chest. And I'm like, dude, this open season here. But those are the kind of things, again, like it could be taken for granted if people are not watching the real action. You know, just because Puello's moving backward don't mean he losing. It don't. And just because Subriel is moving forward, it don't mean he winning. Because there's a thing called effective aggressiveness and there's a thing called ring generalship. Now, what I liked that Puello did when they did get in close was that he clinched him a few times. He even put his head under his armpit and pushed him down. You remember that instance when he did that? I was like, that's a good thing, because good thing for Puello, of course, because a guy that thinks he's strong, that type of situation, it works on your legs and stuff. It's anytime a guy puts his head low where the other guy can pull his head down beneath his chest or under his armpit or something like that, that's never a good thing for the fighter who's in that position. Because not only does that wear your stamina, but you could get caught with shots that you can't see when guys do that, and they could set you up for something real ugly. Puello was a good boxer, man, and he seemed to find a second win in those later 4 rounds. And that's why I had him coming back, being very effective, because he was doing some things that in those middle rounds where Subriel was being a little more physical and more successful, he was more of taking care of himself, you know. That's what that was, and that's how I read that. But overall, it was a good fight, but just the wrong man given the decision. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And I just wanted to get up and get the thoughts, because we all have our favorites, and I try not to have favorites. So I like everybody. You hardly ever see me call anybody bad or anything. But me rooting for the Puerto Rican fighter Matias, who, by the way, is absolutely I have to call it for what I see. I thought he lost the fight. I'm gonna embrace the victory, right? But, but I didn't think he won. I didn't think he won the fight. I was just trying to be totally honest.
Yeah, what did you think about the Morrell fight? I didn't think he won that fight either.
I thought it was a 5-5 fight, and I thought the other guy won because of the knockdown.
Right.
Yeah, so and that was a close fight. And Morrell, and if Morrell would have lost the fight, that's why once the last scorecard that was read didn't make no sense. I don't know how Morrell wins 95-94. I don't see how the math works out there, unless they call one round even. It didn't make any sense to me. 95-94 made sense because it was 10 rounds, so that's 95-95, but the knockdown makes it 95-94. So I didn't understand the last scorecard from Morrell. And they took long to get those scorecards. But if Morrell would have got the loss, it would have been all his fault. He was playing too much.
What was that all about, man? The damn dancing and playing to the audience and stuff. I'm like, dude, if you don't get your head in this fight, and shortly after that, that's when Kataev knocked his butt down. Remember? It was like he caught him playing around and nailed him.
Yeah, and then he caught him again, I think 2 rounds later, or maybe it would have been the 8th round. He caught him again later. I was like, he's playing too much. And there was times when Morrell could have done more, and he was just, I was just like, what is he doing? I thought he played too much with that guy. That guy was dangerous, and I think he knew that he was dangerous, and I think he got a little bit more cautious. Because the guy was definitely strong, and the guy took a good punch, because Morrell hit him with some big shots, and he was kind of like walking through them. So Morrell, he can't do that, and against a good fighter. He's going to get knocked out.
Yeah. And I believe that what we're seeing, too, is the residual fallout from his fight with Benavidez. Because I'm going to tell you something. fighters who, like, I'm not talking about all fighters who play around and clown a little bit or whatever, but if you notice that Morrell did it a little more than, warranted. That's usually an indication of they don't know what else to do. And it's unfortunate because I get the impression now he's not even listening to his corner anymore. So Ronnie Shields, he may be out to sea with this, because when you can't get your fighter to try to implement the most single of instructions that you had given him, Morrell wasn't listening at all. He wasn't. And in moments of, like, Kataev is a tough guy. He's, tough guys are in the sport of boxing, meaning that he ain't just go down because you hit him with a couple of big shots. You're going to have to put them together, and you're going to have to get body work in and everything to make him. See, that's why I don't like when these promoters and everything, when they start talking about a guy can really punch. Frank Warren drives me to blazes with that stupid comment. He's always talking about who can punch. Oh, he's a guy, he can really punch. It's like, dude, it don't matter that he can punch. What matters is, can he think? Can he fight? Does he have the ability to be versatile with execution of punches? Because I'm going to tell you this. Morrell had Kataev hurt several times, but missed the ability to follow up because, one, he stopped throwing combinations when he landed the good shots. Okay, you done cracked the glass. Now it's time to break it, right? He stopped after the glass is cracked. And the two, when he's doing all that showboating and playing up the crowd and stuff, if you weren't so focused on doing those kind of things and were focused on when you get your advantage to follow up and follow through, then you could have greater success. And I believe Kataev recognized that in him, because there's a pattern. It's like, oh, boom, 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 he hit me with a good shot and it shook me, but it's like, oh, he's not coming after me. Do you understand? It's like you can kind of show your hand, like in poker. There are guys who have a great poker face, and then there's a guy that you could read his expression and tell that, oh, he ready to give up the game, and that's true in the sport of boxing. Kataev got hurt several times, but David didn't follow up and follow through. And I'm sure that had to be frustrating as all hell to the trainers, because they're looking at it and they're seeing, like, he threw 4 punches, and that third punch really rocked Kataev. But the fourth punch was just like a throwaway, and then he stopped. But I need the 5, 6, 7, 8. When guys run the numbers, that's when it happens. That's when something happens for you. And if you looked at the knockout that Berlanga took against Shiraz, when Shiraz hurt him a shot, he followed up, didn't he? He followed up with a series of shots. And as Berlanga, I'm talking about the first knockdown, because they showed the replay. As Berlanga was falling, Shiraz had thrown a right hand that, my God, if that right hand would have landed, that boy would have been unconscious. Because he was catching him on the way down. He had bang, bang, got him hurt. Then he hit him the left hook. And as he was following, he followed with that right. But the right missed his chin by like 3 inches. And then he threw the left to follow that right. And it kind of grazed him on the side of the head as he hit the canvas. But it's like, go back and watch the fight, because that's one of the first replays that they showed. If he had hit that boy with that right hand, my goodness, he would have been out.
The replays I seen, like, obviously I was there live, and so at that point I'm in the front row in the next little section there, so I had a good view, and I didn't see it when As the replay shows it. I just knew that the combo, he was hurt, and I knew he was done. I think he was done, and then he got up, and he got dropped again. I thought the corner should have never left him out. His legs was done. There was no way he would be able to do anything. And then he just took more punishment. In the next round, he was stopped. Berlanga, a lot of people don't like to use this word, but I think this is fitting for him. This is a humbling experience for him, and I don't know where he goes from it. I think he's done. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you noticed this. I noticed it. His body language coming through the walk-in and him coming through before the fight even started, he didn't look right. He looked done. I think the moment got to him. This reminds me, I'm going to go back a little bit, of a guy I know here in the Bronx, a fighter named Alan Conyers. I don't know if you know who that is. He fought James Kirkland.
Okay.
And they both dropped each other in the first round, and then Kirkland won and knocked him out in the first round. The fight before that, Alan Conyers fought Bruce Ennis' brother. I think Bruce Ennis' brother was undefeated at the moment, and Connors stopped him. He had the talent, but he was also associated with Fat Joe. He was related to Big Son, and they would always hang out in Jimmy's Cafe and do all this. These fighters need to worry about fighting and stop worrying about all the other extra stuff. About being a star before actually accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
Berlanga, no different. And that's what it reminds me of, because Connors, he had talent. Now, mind you, I think he was 12-10 when his career is over. But he had talent. I mean, all fighters have some sort of talent, But in the fight against Kirkland, you see he had the power. Bruce's brother was undefeated. I think he had a draw. He was pretty talented, too. He stopped him. I believe it was in Atlantic City. But he showed that he had the talent. But, these guys, boxing, you got to take it serious. It's not a game, and that's what it reminded me altogether with the whole thing, so.
Yeah. You there?
It was great. I thought it was a good night. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. It went quiet. Okay. I thought I had lost you.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a good night of boxing. I thought, you never want to see a guy go down like that, and that's the name of the game. It's a sport. But listen, I mean, he brought that upon himself. He talked a lot. He built it up a lot, and he stunk it up. The first couple rounds, he was trying to do a jab. He jabbed enough. He didn't listen to his corner at all either. That's another thing. And I don't know where he goes from there. I think that's it. I don't know. I mean, he should be happy and fortunate he made the money that he did. But I don't see another being a world champion, especially in that division.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I talked about him a couple of fights ago. I felt like he didn't deserve the Canelo fight, and that Canelo was using him as a means of just avoiding another opportunity that was there for David Benavidez. But one of the things I would say too is that when Berlanga had that fight when he bit that guy, remember that?
Yeah.
It's things like that. When I don't take that lightly at all. When I see guys do things like that or result to illegal tactics of headbutts on the intent or elbows and low blows, it tells me more about the fighter not being prepared to face what's his task at hand, and they're looking for a way to avoid or a way out. And Berlanga had given me that impression of him. He stayed steady against Canelo because Canelo didn't threaten him like that. If Canelo had really turned the heat up on Berlanga, he would have either quit or really just gotten knocked out. But Canelo don't have what he used to have. That's obvious. But against a guy that's young like him, because what are they, about a year apart in age, Shiraz and he? It's like you got a guy young like yourself and everything, and all things being equal as far as you being two men who really wanted and all of that. But see, he had that taste of love already. And I'm not talking about love, I'm talking about the bank. That, you know, guys who got poor character, if you give them bank, the poor character is just gonna get bigger. The ego gets bigger. The temptations get bigger. All of that, and you saw it with him with the gold ropes and everything. It's like, dude, it's like, you know, he walk around like Mr. Hollywood, the shades and all of this stuff. It's like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't enjoy, you know, your materialistic desires being, you know, you now that you change your economics. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that if that's the priority, then it's you. Everything else is so far. You're shooting low. You're not shooting high. So it's like someone who's really hungry is going to come and take all that away from you, and that's what you saw last night. Shiraz, it to me, and I only know him for about 3 fights now. But what I see of him, it's not about getting wealthy. He's fighting for something else. What that is, I need to get to know him a little more. But it ain't about getting wealthy, because he's been on Turkey's cards for a while now.
Yeah.
So you know the bank has been sweet for him already. So, you know, again, this is how you begin to separate like who's who, you know, and he's got 2 Americans now that he beat the crap out of, Amo Williams and now Edgar Berlanga.
Yeah.
So
and you know, one thing I noticed about these fighters when they come from overseas, you know, I like to see when the fighters come in like 3 weeks before the fight, you know, and not come like during the fight week and just get adjusted to the time and just get accustomed to the area. And that's what Shiraz did in this fight too. Like he was focused. He came in and he was a guy well prepared. Came into the fight. He was moving up in weight. It was his first fight at 168. He had a new trainer, and he looked phenomenal. You know, and then you have another guy dancing salsa in the hotel room and doing all these videos and talking this and that. You know, where are the training videos? You know, where's you know, hitting the bag and doing something like, you know, it's just 2 different types of fighters. One wants to be a fighter and one wants to be a star, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you, man. You know, taking this call. I know you're trying to close it down. I got to do the radio segment in a minute. We're gonna go make fun of Suleiman, and because Suleiman was there, and I tried talking to him, but he really is a jerk. So yeah, we're gonna get him, and we're gonna talk about, you know, obviously what we just spoke about. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling. It looked like my laptop is freezing up on me a little bit here, but I can still hear you fine. But yeah, I'm gonna get ready to wrap things up. Thanks again for calling, man, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing. If you want, you could drop your link in the chat so people can come over there if they not already subscribed to your channel, man. And I'll be checking you out as well. So, okay. Let's see here. Thomas, you there? It says that he's muted. Okay, I see you, Thomas. You say you got cut off. Yeah, my laptop is acting up, you guys. You guys can still hear me, but yeah, I'm gonna get ready to wrap things up. And get ready to close things out. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, it's acting up, but I'm gonna go ahead and run the gambit from here. Let's see. I'm gonna try to put this ad up here for you guys. Let's see here. Yeah, so that's going to be it for today's call-in show. Thank you to everyone that came out there and checked us out. We got Nerds on Culture coming up tomorrow evening. We got a big fight card coming up next Saturday for the undisputed heavyweight title between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois, their rematch. And it'll be for all the marbles at the heavyweight division. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. If you're coming in late, hit that like button on your way in or on your way out. And enjoy the rest of your week, you guys coming up. Peace.
Look at Jessica. Jessica, what are you doing? You know you can't swim. Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the, oh my God. Somebody help Jessica, please, she can't swim. Go help the Jessica, run! Jessica, no! Oh my God! No, Jessica! No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up! You can't swim! Jessica, no! Lifeguard, please save her! Yes, do lifeguard! Save her, no! Please, Jessica! Oh, look, hey! That husband is coming! Oh, do one of them there! Hey, please, save her! Jessica! They're coming now, they're here! Jessica!